Hello, I am in a different place than usual. I am in my mum's house, which is currently where I'm staying for Christmas, and you can see I've got the nice aesthetic glow behind me, which hopefully will make up for the fact that I haven't got all my pretty normal RGB colourful purple lighting, but I feel like this is going quite well. This is my first time really testing out my travel vlogging setup, and although this took a little nitpicking because I had to update my softwares and then it messed up with my OBS scenes a little bit, then it seems to be going really well. I have got my little camera on my tripod, which I managed to carry in on my rucksack. I've got my travel kit that was in my GoPro box, and I've got my Obspot Meet 2 webcam, so it's not like super fine detail because I've not got the really fancy glass lens, but I do have 4K and it should be HDR as well, so I'll be able to change the colours on this, which will seem a little bit yellow, but it is gentle on my eyes for once, not gonna lie. And I've got my Rode Wireless Go Gen 3 on me, which matches my branded purple perfectly, really. Can we assess how perfectly matched that is? You can't even really see it on my jacket if you look at the screen. I have my laptop here. It's a little bit below me, which I'm going to look like this, and all the cables are leading into it, so I don't want to move it much, but it is on a nice little poof cushion, which is giving it like a seated desk vibe, so I'm only going to be hunching a little bit when I'm going to use it. My video today, really quick one, is if you want to use a QR code that is customly designed, so it looks nice and pretty and it's got all your brand assets and your brand tones on it and maybe your logo too, and it's permanent, because there are a lot of horror tales about marketing people, business owners, anyone who's hosting an event, about them making a leaflet and then printing out the leaflet of all the QR codes, and then by the time they actually get handed out to the end recipient, they have expired and then you have to pay for a membership or something. And this method I'm going to show you is entirely free. Now, I really want to get something out of the way first, which is when to use a QR code. Now, QR codes became really popular on Instagram for a while because the idea was you could like show someone your QR code and you could follow them, which is sort of what I'm going to show you with an example. But people don't realize that the idea of that was you get your QR code up on your phone and then you meet the person, and it's like a business networking situation where you hold it up on your phone, they get their phone, they scan it, they follow you, and you're done. It's not a case of I'm sending someone a photo of my QR code in order for them to open it up on their phone and then scan it with their phone, because although I disagree with this notion, a lot of people do only have phones, they don't have computers, whereas I have a computer, a phone, a tablet, and I've got multi-screens everywhere. But you can't go under the assumption that people have multiple screens when they need to scan a QR code. What a QR code is really intended for is for traditional print media, so something like a billboard, a leaflet, a magazine. It could be for a competition that you're hosting. It could be for on your packaging you print a QR code where they can subscribe to your email list. It can be something on a McDonald's cup when you want to get a freebie. QR codes are for physical media ideally. I personally started looking into this because I'm going to be getting a thing called a dream duffel for my new Taekwondo bag, and it comes with 2 spots for patches that could be embroidered, can be whatever, they can be blank if you really want, but I wanted them to embroider my QR codes onto them, which it turns out they can't because their capabilities restrict that on their customization, but I'm going to get patches made, I'm going to get embroidered patches made, so I have these QR codes I'm going to show you. So these here are my QR codes. I've got one for my Deborah's Dough YouTube channel, and then I'm going to move this one over here so you can actually see it for my Dib Dab Digital YouTube channel. What these do is they link back to my YouTube channel's homepage, but they also, if you're not already subscribed to me, they trigger the subscribe pop-up. So if I've met someone and I go, oh, you can see me on YouTube, then they just have to scan this QR code and then it immediately subscribes them. So even if they don't have the time to watch a video then and there, it gives them the minimal prompts and a call to action right there immediately, and it's really simple. Oh, subscribe, got it, awesome. I'll link in the description how you can actually put a subscribe button, but I think I mentioned it in a previous video as well, where I was talking about social media automation. Maybe it might have been that one. I'll work it out which one it was. What I'm going to show you here is I have a website called QR.io. Now, I have fallen victim to this before, where I've even used this website before and then I found my QR code expiring, so I got annoyed and I gave up on it and I came back months later. The way it works is, although I'm not a developer who doesn't understand the nuance of how QR codes are physically created in code, I know that they are different when you have static and dynamic. Loads of services have a paid for option which will give you loads of flexibility on how long you can use dynamic codes, but they're paywalled because they have to have a reason to run the service. And if it's not money, why would they do it for free out of the goodness of their heart? That doesn't happen. Now, dynamic QR codes mean you can go in, you can change them, you can edit them, and they are generally attached to a landing page that is in your QR.io account and is searchable online. You can keep track of the analytics. So if you see here, I have this one here. This is a dynamic code. So it's also a little, I'm going to say less detail. It's a little less detail. It's a little less complex in that it goes to a place that can change. Stylistically, it's got less minutia that you have to worry about being visible, which is a bonus. My camera light just turned purple and I don't know why, which unnerves me, but it seems to still be recording, so we'll go with it. So it's got a little less detail, which can be seen as a benefit because it means people don't need to be as far away or as close to get the fine nuance of it on their phone camera so they can actually see it. Although QR codes, in my opinion, have always been creepily instantaneous. And then up here, I have static ones. So you can see on the dynamic one, I can see how many scans it's had. I can go in and I can edit this information. I can change where the link goes to if you decide that you need to scrap the page that it was leading to, or if you're retiring a brand but you've got QR codes out in the world and you want it to still go somewhere, then you can create a redirect without going into sitemaps and SEO stuff and robots.txt. So that is a benefit for you. But here are static codes where the only thing I can change is the name, and that's for my personal reference in my account. That doesn't change anything to do with the QR code itself. They even note it as a static one to differentiate for you. Now I'm going to zoom in so I can encourage you to like scan these and test them. So you can see there's the dynamic one and it currently leads to YouTube, but I might actually change it in this video to prove to the end destination. So if I go to my website, save that, rename, DibDab Digital website, save. Then if you go into these ones, you'll see I can't edit it and they have no analytical information. You can see when I was last updated, so you can check if it's out of date. You can still get the information of where it's from, but it's there. So now I'm going to show you how to create a static QR code, which is the only one that you can have for free without it expiring. These last forever, so you don't need to worry about paying for it in the future. You can actually forget this account exists. You can lose the login information as long as you have the QR code file itself, then you don't need to worry about that. You have to create your QR.io accounts, create a QR code. Now, this is the bit that will confuse you. You see this page here, you see a list of options. These are all the types of QR codes you can create. You can have it to go to a file, a website, an image that you host on your account, an app, a menu, which that's a really common one, is QR codes on tables that lead to the menu for restaurants or bars. It looks like these are all you can click on, right? And it doesn't say anything about static and dynamic, but these are all dynamic code options. If you go down here, there's a little tiny plus in a very low contrast header that looks like it's not even part of the thing. It's just like a little random photo thing. And it says static codes. You press the plus and it reveals all the options for static permanent codes. You do have less options, like, what is it, coupons? Can't do coupons, can't do a playlist. You can do a website URL, send an email, text, call, all this sort of stuff. I do wonder why it says text when CMS is definitely considered text as well. Connect to a Wi-Fi thing. Oh, I would love to have a QR code to connect to my Wi-Fi. I haven't made that for my house. V-card. Oh, contacts, yeah, so that's cool. So that's like another thing, like exchanging business cards digitally. PayPal link and Bitcoin. So if you have a PayPal account, then you don't need to get something like Stripe for someone to be able to reach a PayPal account as well. It's just a whole thing. There's options. The point is, you click on this one, website URL, you put in a website URL. What am I going to do? I'm going to go https www.dibdabdigital.com. Bulk creation will give you different variants, but if we just click continue, then you get to design your QR code for the customization element. So it gives you all these frames that you have the option of choosing from. You can have a fake phone one, a little clipboard, little shopping bag, little film one. So if you don't want to watch a video, then that's where it goes to. Personally, I don't like having the frames, but you can put in calls to action by putting the phrase to be like, click me, or get online for the QR code one, or become a member. What if I put emojis in here? Let's try. Does it register emoji? It does, it registers emojis. You can put emojis in your QR code. You can choose all the colors and you can do it off RGB, or if you click on, this, then you can change from hex code, HSL, whatever one you want, and it changes it. You can give the QR codes different styles for the dots. QR codes are all about the contrast between two separate spaces, so it just reads the gaps. So the way it styles them is kind of irrelevant. It takes a little while to process. Like you can see, this one is churning forward, but some of them just go faster. Now you would think I would love the sparkle ones and the starry ones, but for some reason they seem to make them really small when they do that, and I don't love that. I like the rounded edges one personally. And then you can also change the bits on the outside. You can upload a logo, or you can make a custom shape to have around the edges. So there is a way to customize it for your brand tone. I'm gonna make a really ugly one just to prove my point. So like da 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 da. And let's add an email picture, or let's add a PayPal icon, and that sort of gives people a hint of what it is. And then you can put a call to action inside of it. You can upload your own and do your own styling thing, and then you would just click continue. And then you can rename it here. I'm gonna go test code website, save. And now see, it's a static QR code, and you can edit the design of it, what it looks like, but you can't change the fundamentally where it goes. I'm gonna zoom in there so you can test it out and see where you land. I'm actually gonna test it myself because I wanna know if it works before I post this video. And my phone's over there and I've got numb legs, so let me get that real quick. We scan it. We found it, got the website, open link, and look at where it goes. And there's my website right there. So there's my proof that QR codes work, and you can get a static one and it will not expire. I've even scheduled these on my social media scheduling software to post in a couple weeks, because if you get the one where you're expected to pay for it, then it will expire in about 2 weeks time. So I've set it to go out to remind me to even triple check it. But it works. I've done it before. It works. I don't even have a referral link. Normally I have an affiliate link or something where we both get points towards some kind of monetary gain in the description. There is a few of those for a few different brands. Don't actually have one for QR.io. Most things that have .io at the end are normally open source softwares, to be honest. But enjoy, test it out, let me know how it goes. Hello, I'm back another day. Just a warning for you, just so you know, everything I did say is correct, and it's because when you have a static QR code, the data is baked in. That's why when you see a static QR code, it's got a lot more dots and a lot more intricacies than a dynamic QR code. The dynamic QR code functions by sending you to a redirect of wherever the feed is supposed to be, and that requires hosting through the QR code creator's platform like QR.io. But a static one is permanent because it's in the image. The data itself is in the image, so it's more complicated. The whole concept of this video is you will have a QR code that is permanent forever. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll be able to use the tool you created it on forever. I'm going to show you my screen. So if I go onto QR.io right now, you will see my free trial expired. And that means that these QR codes I've created, they still work. Scan them now, they still work. So this one still works. I showed you earlier, scan it on the video, still works. This new one I created after I let the thing expire. So you scan this QR code, and it looks like a QR code. The information is probably in there, and it's a static QR code, but it doesn't actually work. And that's because I created it after I had an expired profile. So even though it's a static one, it never had the data baked into it. It just looks nice. It's like a proof of concept. But if I try and download it, then it makes me want to pay. If I try and download an existing one, it makes me want to pay. Weirdly, if you click it on this button, it makes you want to pay as well. If you click it on this button, then it still allows you to make it, but it doesn't work. So this is QR.io. Now that's just this software. There's an alternate one here called QR Code Monkey, and I created one, scan it now, and that proves that it works. This is also a static QR code. Annoyingly, it doesn't have the same stylization options to have the stars in the little bit up here, but the point remains that the software you use is minute. As long as you have a static QR code, it will be permanently active forever. Just remember, if you do make them on QR.io, make as many as possible in your free day trial, download them all in as many file formats as you can. The static QR codes will work forever, dynamic QR codes will not, and you can't download them after your account expires. You could pay. If you want to pay, you could pay, but the whole point is doing it for free. And if you want an extra little workaround, you could just make a new email address to make a new QR code. Hope you found that helpful. Make sure you subscribe. Have a nice day. Goodbye.